What's up, guys? First off, let me preface and say I'm not an expert in martial arts, but I have been training martial arts off and on pretty much my whole life. And I just want to talk about some constraints here that we use in the strength and conditioning and sports performance world, and kind of illustrate it with the different types of punches. You see I'm doing a post versus an isometric jab where I'm pausing it, versus where I'm doing a snap light jab for speed, versus where I'm doing a power jab for using the ground and really trying to move the bag and put strength and force behind it. This technique can be applied for literally any striking move in martial arts, and even still it can be applied for any movement in the gym, and you get a different outcome from it. So if we take some of these same kicks and punches here and put them as an example of like a dumbbell row, to learn the position, we need time. We need that isometric position so our brain can learn the mind-muscle connection and learn where our body needs to be in space. If we try to do speed or too many moves and sequences too fast, then they're not going to, one, look smooth or aesthetic, and two, you're not going to have the right intent behind it, whether your hand is open or your knuckle is closed, right? The same thing for a dumbbell row, whether your hand's in the right position, whether your shoulder blade's in the right position. It's important to put constraints around your drills and not just do them the same way all the time. And more importantly, there's a time to know when to go maximal effort and work true power, and a time to know when to go sub-maximal and kind of work rhythm and flow and timing and sequencing and placement and all these other variables that you don't necessarily see in the weight room. But like I said, I just wanted to use this video as kind of an example. One, because I like martial arts. I want to show you guys that, I'm not a professional fighter by any means, but you can have decent body movement and form and rhythm and mechanics if you prioritize those things in your physical fitness practice, and still in my experience, and sometimes in martial arts classes, you can do a little too much too soon. You're never too good to take a simple strike like that first one I did as like a jab and really work all angles of the movement, right? And the same thing goes for, say, that example again, the dumbbell row, right? Is mastering the fundamentals and having a well-rounded approach and knowledge to the whole aspect, whether it be form and isometric positions, whether it be speed and quickness and relaxation, or whether it be power and learning to use the ground and the kinetic change sequencing to really apply force, right? Because force comes from the ground. So again, hope you enjoy me just messing around with my bag in the backyard. And one of the things I want for you guys to look at, I'm not a martial art expert by any means, but I'm always working that brain or mind image of a fighter, just like you do with shadow boxing. And I'm trying to mess with my timing, trying to mess with the difference between a sub-maximal and well-placed form kick or punch versus a speed movement, flow movement, versus a power movement, right? And all of those things, you get feedback from the bag, which sometimes is harder to get from a dumbbell or something like that when you're training. I think one of the easiest ways for people to hear it is on barbell movements. You can hear like the clink of the barbell when you're doing power movements, and then when you're doing isometric movements, if you go slow enough and you can feel the antagonist muscle group, or like say a squat, if you can really feel your calves and your hamstrings on the negative or the pause of a movement, versus if you're doing just the reps for reps sake. So like I said, just wanted to talk about some broader points and how that overlap in strength and conditioning and the martial arts world occurs. And it comes through the set of constraints, and it comes through having a guideline of fundamentals and sticking to your fundamentals and then building on them into more intermediate and advanced concepts. Enjoy, guys.